All right, so people everywhere are trying to figure out, is AI evil or good, or just another tool? Things are changing so quickly that I know that I fluctuate daily and sometimes hourly between freaking out about it on the one side and thinking, ooh, how can I use that on the other side, specifically for photography and video production. And it played a big part in the question I asked in a previous video about how I got this image from here to here. The details about the why are in that previous video. I won't go through all the other things I tried before landing on this. Things like I duplicated the layer and I tried to white balance the reds out of one layer and the blues out of the other layer and mask them, and that just turned out to be a mess. But then I had this idea and it worked. So this is really briefly, this is not a tutorial, this is just really briefly a run through of what I did. First, I used the raw converter to desaturate it to take it to black and white. Doing that, the red channel was so bright that I had to adjust the reds down a little bit and make some other brightness adjustments to the black and white image. Then I took it back into Photoshop and went up to the filters, then to neural filters. And the neural filters are basically just a set of AI filters that are built into Photoshop. Scrolled down to the colorize filter and turned it on. It's basically made for colorizing old black and white photos, but I used it on this new was colored newly black and white photo. And it did a really good job right off the bat. There was some weird color things going on around the collar and around the sleeve where it kind of guessed brown instead of blue. And there's some tweaks you can have in the neural filter, but I didn't mess with those at the time. I took it back into Photoshop and basically just brushed the hue, the correct hue, onto those areas pretty quickly. Adjusted the levels again to kind of get the brightness right, and that was it. I like the way it turned out. The subject liked the way it turned out. But is it cheating, or am I just using the tools that are available to me? There are a lot of other things you can do in Photoshop that used to be painfully tedious to do, but these new AI filters and AI effects, generative fill, and the rest have cut the time that it takes to do those dramatically. But when does AI go too far? When does it become more than just a tool?